I want to walk you through a scenario of a man going shopping. He goes from store to store, picks out things that he wants, buys them, gets them put in the bag, gets the receipt, walks out of the store, and goes to the next, and repeats the same thing. He does this to 5 other stores, and then he walks out with all of his bags at the end of the night into the dark parking lot, gets in his car, and drives home. I'm going to repeat that again. He gets in his car, and he drives home. Not once in my scenario did I mention that he was scared that someone was watching him, that he was scared that someone was tracking his every move, that someone knew where he parked and was waiting at his car for him at the end of the night. Not once did I mention that he looks for pepper spray while he walked to his car, or gripped his keys tightly between his pointer finger and middle finger to make a stabbing object so that he could hurt someone. Not once did I mention that he had anxiety of shopping alone, and that he was scared that anything was going to happen to him. Now, let me walk you through a scenario of a woman going shopping alone. A woman goes into stores the same as a man did. She goes and picks out her clothes, she tries them on, probably sends them to her friends for opinions, and then she buys them, gets the receipt, and goes store to store. But while doing so, she was always checking her surroundings, and she's always texting her loved ones or her friends saying, "I think this man has been staring at me for too long." She's always getting off vibes from a stranger that she doesn't even know. And she's constantly avoiding eye contact with older men because she's terrified that they are after her. And while on her walk to her car at the end of the night, after she bought everything she needed, she grips her pepper spray so tightly in her hand, and she keeps checking behind her to make sure no one is following her. And while she approaches her car, she looks around it to make sure that no one is there, and then she jumps into her car and locks the door before starting her car. She is terrified that someone is going to attack her. This is the fear of sex trafficking that is now embedded into every American woman's mind, and the news is only showing worse. Right now, there is 4.5 million people missing due to sex trafficking in the world, and 92% of the people missing are all female. Females are a target for sex traffickers, and lately they are finding new ways to lure women in their traps by posing as a homeless woman who needs help, begging for someone to come check out their car and jump it when they never had a car that needed a problem. And also to young teens, they are acting as model agencies and telling teens that they look amazing and model type, and they just need to come to their company van and fill out an application. And after that, they are sex trafficked. The definition of sex trafficking is the action or practice of illegally transporting people from one country to another for the purpose of sexual orientation. The fear that this is never going to stop and only continue to get worse, as sex traffickers are making thousands and thousands of dollars off of just one female each time. With that rate, they don't care about the lives that they are stealing, as they are making easy money just by taking what they want and not getting the consequences of it, ever. In places where we're supposed to feel safe, we are not anymore. The countless news reports about Ubers and Lyft's drivers going the opposite direction of where the person paid for, and hundreds of women reporting that they had to jump out of a moving vehicle just to be safe. Now, everyone is ordering Ubers so that they're not walking alone at night, because walking alone at night was the fear, but now our Uber drivers are our fear too. It seems like nowhere is safe and no one is trustable. The targets that are being found for sex traffickers are young women, children, and also any age women, because sometimes grandmoms are even being stolen. But let me just repeat that nowhere is safe and no one is trustable. Even saying that, there has been recent evidence found that child protective services are selling off young children into sex trafficking instead of taking them into foster homes, and the government is slowly tied into that. Though we should have already assumed the government this past decade has not been protecting us, but just hiding stories from us that we need to know, and doing things behind our back like taking America's children for money. It is sickening, and there needs to be a stop to this somehow, yet not even police know where to start because of all the sex traffickers have fake names and hide in the shadows. Nowhere is safe and no one is safe. I will repeat, nowhere is safe and no one is safe. All these places are the biggest targets. Shopping malls, outlet malls, grocery stores, parking places at night, concerts where we're supposed to feel free and fun with our music, and even walking to our education. Nowhere is safe and no one is safe. Please do not doubt that because you live in a town with barely any crime, that they aren't lurking in the shadows and already taking people without anyone realizing, or that they haven't been stalking you down. Though this speech is not meant to scare you, it should, because the world is turning ugly and evil and there's still being babies born into this mess. This speech is meant to inform you of the risk of going out as a female and that being alone is never safe in public anymore. Key things to know and to live by in this world of evil is to once again trust no one and trust nowhere. Always keep pepper spray on you or wear big rings that are able to indent cuts into someone's face if you had to punch them. Always, and I mean always, travel in groups. Never go out shopping alone whether you want to be alone that day, because outlet malls and even grocery stores are the most popular for sex traffickers. Also, never, and I mean never, take your eyes off of a child in a store, or even your younger sibling. Not even for a second, because they can be grabbed faster than you can imagine, and as a child, they cannot fight as hard as an adult can. Always keep your doors locked, and always check your surroundings as you make your way through parking lots, aisles, and sidewalks, and on your way to school. Never try to help a woman crying in a parking lot who just randomly chose you to ask for help. And I know that is hard because everyone wants to help everyone that they see in need. But if you are willing to help this woman, I would bring her to the front of the parking lot where there's many lights and many people and ask other people to help you too. And I know that it's very hard to deny bringing someone to the light of everything and asking other people to help with you. But it is very terrifying that they are using old women and women to lure you in because, of course, you are going to help a woman before you help a stranger man. If you wish to help someone in a parking lot, check your surroundings and then ask a store manager or other people near you to help guide the woman. Always share location with someone, and if you do not own a phone that can share direct location, always alert someone where you are going at that certain time so that if you don't hear back from them after a certain amount of hours, they know to contact authorities. Never try to get a zip tie, a cracked egg, or paint off of your car if you randomly notice it in a parking lot. This is a lure to their trap. Always try to get to a safe place and then try to approach the situation. And always, and I mean always, alert authorities. Plain as simple as it can be, just always be aware of things happening. Avoid traveling alone and always keep something on you that can harm someone if you are attacked. The world is just getting worse and worse by day, but with these little tips and scenarios to warn you, we can maybe protect ourselves and our loved ones before it is too late.